Good evening, managers. Welcome back to the Week 5 Shots Fired Fantasy Football Weekly Recap. My name is Christian DeFazio. I will be filling in for Tim Reynolds this week, who once again scored the league low. Little quirk about that coming up in the league. But yeah, so pretty good week. In terms of games, a lot of high scoring this week. We had four teams, score over 140. Over half the league scored over 130. Actually, the only game that did not have someone score over 130 points was between myself and Dylan. So very high scoring affair for a lot of games this week. And you know what? Let's just jump right into it. To start off, we're going to go with probably the best game of the week between Alec Carino's Not For You and Mitch Aliberti's Chillin' at the Galladay Inn. Both teams coming into the week were 1-3 and desperate for a win. Neither, obviously, are looking to take the SAT, so a win would be monumentous in preventing that, as a loser would fall to 1-4 and have a tie of the second worst record in the league. It was Garino who put up the league high this week with 158.7 points, beating Aliberti by about 13 with a final score of 158.7 to 144.8. Garino was carried by Aaron Jones, who had a monster performance against the Dallas Cowboys, totaling over 180 total yards to go along with 4 touchdowns. He had 49.2 points, and then he also had running back Chris Carson, who performed on Thursday night against the Rams with 19.3, and then Juju Smith-Schuster with 18.5 points. As for Aliberti, this is 2 weeks in a row now where his team's really done well offensively, and it just hasn't been enough. In his 144.8 point performance, that was the most someone had this week that ended up in a loss. It was the third highest point total of the week, and unfortunately, he was just going against the most. Mike Thomas put up 41.2 points against the Buccaneers. Tyler Boyd with 28.3 points for the Bengals, and Philip Lindsay for 24.7 points. Tough break for Mitch. He now sits at 1-4. Which is very close to 0-5. He has the second worst record in the league, and I know he doesn't want to take the SATs, but he's going to have to pick it up. But considering his offense is trending upward the last 2 weeks, I think there's some real hope for him. Our next matchup features league commissioner and tied for best record, Kamara's a bitch, and Adrian Scher's Gettleman sucks. Dorchek came into the game at 4-0, while Scher came in at 2-2, coming off of a nice performance. It was Dorchek who improved to 5-0 with a 134.5 to 124.6 victory. Pete with a beautiful pickup of the Philadelphia Eagles defense going against Luke Falk. They had 35 points, accounting for 10 total sacks this year, which ties for the most in any game so far this season with the New England Patriots. He also stuck with Austin Eckler in his lineup, and it paid big dividends. He had 22.3, and then, per usual, Pat Mahomes had a great day. He had 18.5 points. Well, actually, he didn't have a great day, but still a pretty decent fantasy day. As for Scher, that trade for Chris Godwin is looking more and more, or better and better for him and worse for Dylan. Godwin put up 31.5 points. Allen Robinson with 28.7 points in a loss to the Raiders in London. And then the surprise pick of the draft was when Adrian took Kyler Murray, who actually has not been performing poorly, and he put up 25.4 points this week. For Dorchek, he remains tied atop with the best record in the league at 5-0 and in first place in the 64 division. As for Scher, he falls to third place in the 64 division, but that still puts him as a 6th seed, and good enough to be in the playoffs if the season ended right now. Our next matchup was between Christian Scher's 4-0 math expert versus Tim Reynolds, formerly known as Nut in Her Eye. He recently switched his team name to just Give Me the Centrello Award. You know, really appreciate that self-deprecating humor, Tim. Really do. And with Scher, who won in a landslide like many of the analysts predicted, he won 142.9 to 86.4. It's the Christian McCaffrey show this year. He's been a fantasy god. He put up 47.7 points. That is almost outscoring Tim's top 3 performers, but not quite. He did have over half of Tim's fantasy output, though. And to go along with McCaffrey, Cooper Kupp put up 26.7 points, and Julian Edelman put up 25. As for Reynolds, he had just one guy score above 20 with 23.2. Dak Prescott, I apologize, had 23.2. Devontae Freeman had 18. and then a huge drop with David Montgomery all the way to 10.6. For Sherry improves to 5-0, sits atop the first in the 66th division, while Reynolds not improves but falls to 0-5. Still the worst record in the league. Tim, we're rooting for you, just not this upcoming week. Anything after this week, we're rooting for you. Our next matchup was two teams that came in 3-1. Dave Katz's He Went to Bar A against John Patty's Johnny Football, and it was Katz who won handily 147 to 110.9. Katz was led by two monster performances, one from Deshaun Watson with 41.7 points. The Houston Texans put up 53 against the Atlanta Falcons. And then Adam Thielen, after bitching and moaning, hashtag he's a diva, he put up 32 points against the New York Giants this week. And then Marlon Mack returns and puts up 17.8. For Patty was led by rookie Josh Jacobs with 29.3 points. And then David Johnson with 18.6. And then the Vikings defense with 13 points. Our next matchup features two similar managers, Christian DeFazio's Under the Influence and Dylan Clark's Honolulu Gawangis. Both guys came into the game at 3-2, battling for a playoff spot and ratings in the 64 division. And it was Clark who edged DeFazio handily 108.5 to 90.1. Clark was led by the New England Patriots. Tom Brady with 23.9, the New England defense with 15, and then DeAndre Hopkins kind of bouncing back this week with 15.8. You'd figure he had more considering the output that Watson and the Texans put up, but I'm sure he'll take it. And as for DeFazio, he finally got production from Sony Michel this week with 21.3 points, and then Zach Ertz with 16.7, but the Eagles' offense just did not perform well, and it showed with Carson Wentz as quarterback only having 12.1 points. Oh, excuse me. Our final matchup featured two 1-3 teams, one from the 66 division, one from the 64 division. Danny Sullivan's Pepperoni Cowboys versus Mini Greeno and Mike Daly's About to Be in the League. And it was Danny Sullivan's team who edged out Greeno and Daly's 140.1 to 131.9. Sullivan was led by Amari Cooper's monster day against the Packers with 39.6 points. Dalvin Cook continues to be a huge asset for him. Great first-round pick on his part with 25.8. And Jared Goff with 17.9. An incredibly solid performance considering Devontae Adams, his number one receiver, was out this week. So great job on his team to pick that up. As for Greeno and Daly, they fall to 1-4. They were led by Russell Wilson with 29.9 points. Leonard Fournette had 23.7, and George Kittle put up 20.8. So there you have it. That's the recap of all the games this week. Before I sign off, I encourage you to stay for this part as you guys will decide what I will be having for lunch tomorrow. What are my options for lunch tomorrow, Sam? Right now, peanut butter and eggs is the top choice. I'm going to throw in three other places. We're going to do Chick-fil-A, Twisted Taco, and...
This is a real question?
This is a real question.
On the taco vibe, you go to Soccer Taco. You can buy them the tacos.
Or Soccer Taco, Kingston Pike or downtown? We're going to go to the downtown one. So it is between peanut butter and eggs, Chick-fil-A, Soccer Taco, the one in downtown Market Square, or Twisted Taco. I really hope you guys give me some serious feedback in the group chat because I am looking forward to my Friday lunch. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys all next week, hopefully reporting if it's me for another team, and if someone else decides to make the video, thank you. The league appreciates it. Have a great one.